Let's not waste any time. Give it up for your next comedian, a very funny lady. Give it up for Ruth Schwartz, ladies and gentlemen.
Guess I'm holding the dick now.
Yes, you are.
I'm not putting it in my mouth. Okay, everybody. Some of you perceive me as innocent, and I am. I am the daughter of Dave and Dorothy Schwartz, born in the 40s. Yes, I'm a senior citizen, and I'm proud of it. Life is wonderful, but getting here, so-so. I was very inquisitive when I was young, and I heard some things that I couldn't quite believe. I couldn't even believe how children were born. I said, not me. Oh, okay, maybe twice, but whatever. How they came about too. I said, oh, no way. But eventually, you had to get with it. And I had to start asking questions. You learn drips and drabs. We didn't have Google then. You had to ask your mother. And thank God I had American parents and I had a mouth. And I could ask. I said to my mother, I heard something about the number 69. She said to me, and I know what it is, and she said, when you're married and in love, it's okay. I was really afraid of asking her if you swallow. So I went to my friend's mother, who was also American and more educated than my mother. And she said, only the French do it. Oh, I said, thank God I'm not French. And then I knew I didn't have to ask my mother the other question, because my mother was meticulously clean about everything, and I knew she would never swallow. Many years later, I met a man, and he was French. And he wanted to make love. I said, stop, I'm an American. I'm an American. He said, let's do it the Greek way. I said, the Greek way to myself, and I said, not tonight. I have to go home, I have a headache. And the next day I called my mother up, because by then I had my own apartment, and I asked her, thank God she was alive, and said to her, what's the Greek way? I thought in my mind that maybe you cover it with feta cheese, you put grape leaves on it, and you suck it. My mother said she would never do that, even though she was in love with my father, not even on his birthday. I think she was just trying to keep him alive because the salt would kill him. So she was being kind. I did go to college. I know I don't sound too educated, but I did go to college. And when I'm there my first year, a guy from high school comes over to me and said, Ruthie, I have a pot party to go to. I said, a pot party? This is in the 60s. I said, a pot party? My mother never uses her pots to myself, and she's very clean. I said to the guy, sorry, my mother's not going to let me take one of her pots. I was never asked again to another party. I then had a resort to going to bars. In Manhattan, I lived in Brooklyn, as I think you can tell. And we would drive to bars at 11 o'clock p.m. on a Friday night. I'm not religious. And we'd go in to Mr. Laughs, Maxwell's Plum, whatever. And I wasn't very successful there either. However, in old age, I learned where the best place to meet a man is. Cardiac rehab. Where else can you find 10 men to 1 woman? And you know what? They're not so bad either. My first day going to comedy class was on a Monday snowy night, one of the horrible Mondays, and my husband gave me this class as a Valentine's gift. Probably he had a lover on the side who liked to swallow, and to get me out of the house. Anyway, I trudge up there, I'm a little late, and all of a sudden, at 60th Street, the bus stops, and the bus driver's fighting with people that are in the street and saying, "There's no room on the bus for you. What do you want from me? There's no room." So the people, brave New Yorkers, went and stood in front of the bus. I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late to my first class, and I was a teacher. How could I be late to class? I'll get it on my permanent record." "Oh," I said, "oh, I'm going to need a note from the bus driver. He's going to have to give me a note." Oh, and I started to talk aloud, because I talk on public transportation. I talk in toilets. I talk everywhere. And I am rude at times, too. But anyway, I'm entertaining the people on the bus, and someone says, "Call 911. So I call 911. I get this operator, and I said, "The bus driver has a dilemma. He doesn't know to hit or not to hit. That is the question." And then I say, "Well, he's really not thinking about hitting the people. I didn't want him to get arrested." And eventually the bus moved, and I came to the class late. But when I got off the bus, I went to the bus driver, who gave me a nice smile, and I said, "I need my note." He said, "You'll have to wait. I have to go and get it notarized." I got to class, and the teacher was rather mean because I interrupted the whole class, and I'm so excited because I was just on stage on the 3rd Avenue bus, people telling me how great I was. I got to listen to this guy tell me what to do with comedy. However, he was very good. I also have, when I was going to high school, my mother said to me, "You know, you need to become a lady. You don't sound like a lady, and I want you to marry rich. I'm going to send you to finishing school." I said, "Finishing school? What's my mother, Italian? She wants to have me finished off?" I went to my guidance counselor in high school, and I said, my mother wants me to die. She wants to finish me off." He looked at me and said, "Honey, you and your mother need to go to an institution where you do Rorschach tests all day long. Anyway, I did go to college. I did graduate from college. And yes, I wanted to be a star. But believe it or not, I had common sense and said, I got to be something else first. Because this little schlepper from Brooklyn, she wasn't going to be a star unless my father had enough money to buy it for me. And he didn't. So I became a teacher and then a guidance counselor. And boy, you would think I was tough as a teacher, right? I was. And I was happy for the Vietnam War because men entered the profession. And it was much easier to teach with men around because they were strong and disciplinarians. Plus, it made the conversation a little different at lunch. And it was nice to have guys, not just women. I've had a very interesting life, but unfortunately, I've been in the hospital many times. My last trip to the emergency room was for a possible stroke. I went to the emergency room in a horrible rainstorm, but as soon as I saw the first doctor, I said to her, "Ooh, I owe you money," because I owed her money from the emergency room visit before. So I knew already I didn't have a stroke. My mind was too good. They take me into the x-ray place, and I see this guy, an old guy, an ugly guy. And I say, he looks familiar. Did I go out with him? Because I figured I dated every Jewish guy in New York City, and maybe one or two Italians. And I'm saying, no, he's way too ugly. And I'm sure I didn't date him. And guess what? He was a comic. Finally, I said, "Buy the Schfinkel." I said, "I want to be a comic." He said to me, "Go for it." And here I am. I am going for it.
Ruth Schwartz, ladies and gentlemen. Ruth Schwartz. Ruth.